All right, well, that's it for me. Why don't we go ahead and bring up Man of the Hour? One we're cutting the losses for. See how we're paddling it?
Yeah.
We want to hear who is proud, loud. All right, put your hands together, please, and welcome for one of the last times, Weasel.
So, first off, I want to thank all of you for actually coming out tonight. This is like kind of my last reading here, my last official reading in Houston. I may have one other one come up. I'm not sure. Details are kind of in the air. But there will be a Gulf Coast Poets holiday reading at the Friends of Public Library, which is on Facebook. So I probably already sent you the Facebook invite for it. If you haven't, let me know, and I'll get to it. This year has been a challenging and very changing year for me. I have a new book out called Cut the Loss, and I'm working on another book called Time Passes Like Flames in the Distance. So I'm going to read a little bit of both. Cut the Loss deals with a lot of suicidal ideation, my current relationship, my past relationship, mental abuse. It's a pretty heavy book. So I know Ken Jones has reviewed it lovingly, thank you. And got a couple of other good reviews from Edward Vidal. I hope I'm saying that right. So, but tonight, I'm going to read a lot of sex poems. So, 'tis the season, motherfuckers. Woo! I'm going to open up with a poem to the Muses. Bukowski's ghost watches me fuck in the corner. While smoking a cigarette, his body sits tired, eyes squinted. He says, I'm not drunk enough, that being sober while fucking is a delusion. I tell him, even in death, he's drunk enough for the both of us. When I kiss the curve of your neck, he asks if the fires of madness are worth the prayer to lessen our pain. I tell him while stroking your cock that there's only soul in this room. The universe blessed me when I tasted you. Bukowski lights another cigarette and grunts in the darkness. He says the whole world is waiting outside. I tell him to let it wait. They'll still be pissed in the morning. I read this poem earlier at the Gulf Coast Poets. This deals with my my ex-husband, or soon-to-be ex-husband. Hopefully, we'll see how that goes. But so a few weeks ago, I got to meet Buddy Wakefield. He did a reading down here at Rudyard's with Ebony Stewart, and I bought one of his books, and he asked me what my last name was because he was going to sign it. And I said, I don't like my last name, just put Weasel. So he said, I've given you the last name Househeart. So this poem is called Househeart. It's about my ex. You are a bad story. A collection of snakes entangled in my bones, yet I can't forget you. We danced Earthquake, and I kept taking the tumble, thinking you'd have mercy. But what mercy falls from your eyes when turning your lover to stone? You said, forever your fox, yet I had to read between your words while frozen for years, my heart a house as you dug at the foundation. You could not make yourself a home without bruises. Hanging them like paintings, you were the Van Gogh in your skull, the artist frayed because you didn't know your lover. Know your lover. When you punched yourself in the face, what did you expect of me? When I grabbed your hand to stop you, what did you think first? When you sent me face first into the bookshelf, did you know? Houses are sturdy but grow brittle when storms beat them. Your winds are rage, yet you call them a disappointment because your house could not conform when you slipped a ring on it. I gave you the gift of these walls. You left holes the size of your head. Said, we all take pain, I just take it better than you. And while sometimes I think it's true, I still took the gift of your anger. Alright, I've got quite a few books, so I'm going to try and blow through a couple of them. So, this one has been a favorite for a lot of people. It's called We Don't Make It Out Alive. I was seeing a therapist for a while. I stopped seeing him because it's expensive. But this is called, my therapist tells me he's going to fuck me up. My hands smooth flesh stretched over the couch. Its firmness holding my body hostage, keeping it from diving down into the void of my stomach. I tell him I can touch the ether, that is just at the tips of my fingers, and he tells me he can't solve all my problems. I'll have to stay leveled until he's dug through the toxins rustling in my skull. I want to smoke. The package of cigarettes rustles in my pocket as I shift around on tough leather. My heart quakes beneath withered bones. I think they'll crack. One beat, one fracture, pop, pop, pop. This room feels sideways, yet we haven't moved. I tell him, there's not much left to fuck up. And he says, there's more than you can imagine. Let's see. This is for a really old lover. I haven't thought of this guy in a long time. So this is called I Think of You in Terms of Hysteria. The moon hangs empty tonight, leaving tall buildings and sharp sins to shelter us. Under busted streetlights you lure me close, lips cinching, tongue-plucking teeth, leaving the taste of maraschino cigs. Tobacco class. My fingers climb the stairway of your back, but you had eaten too many thorns, your stems have grown jagged. I slice my hand trying to get inside you. Dance the tango while you make the earth quake. You were obliteration, pulling apart our bodies. Yet this is what I crave. Dust and debris piling in my throat, the taste of our home crumbling into disillusion. Abandonment. You slipped away from me, left your last words on the concrete. They were the shotgun shells pumped into my gut, the last delirium that will never heal. Alright, so I think that's kind of it for the heavy stuff. So, I've had a lot of hookups. If I can find this one. Let's see. I've had a lot of weird hookups too. Some people you meet, you talk to them online and you think, that's not so bad. Then you meet them in person and you just completely go, what the fuck? 76. This is what happens when you don't prepare for your readings. You're left trying to figure out where your stuff is at. There we go. So, I was with this guy, and he asked me to eat his ass. I was all too willing to oblige, spreading his cheeks wide as if opening a bag of groceries. My thumbs play with his hole, and he lets out a quiet moan, only audible to the choir of silence in his room. I draw his ass closer, my tongue ready to plunge, but the moment I get inches away, it hits me. Fuck. Rotten, like a bad Caesar salad left out in Texas heat. Boy, do you not know the basics of washing your ass? You can't present a feast that's rotten. What do you tell your guests when they are not able to cure their desire? I pushed him off, said I felt sick. A small piece of toilet paper lies on my belly and I fling it away. Grabbed my clothes. I ain't called that motherfucker the next day. So, I love that. Yuck. So, as I've said like a million times over, I'm moving to Michigan to be with my boyfriend. We actually did our 1-year anniversary this past in Disney World. We drove back in July to Florida, which is the longest fucking drive. Probably not as long as what I might have coming up, but still. I'm told by sources beyond me that I can neither confirm or deny this, but the first time you get blown at Disney, before I start the poem, there's an Aerosmith ride. There's an actual Aerosmith roller coaster. I didn't know this, like it shoots you right into this black hole.
At Disney World?
At Disney World, yeah, it's Hollywood Studios.
What, I missed
Wow.
that?
Yeah.
No, Disney World is for...
Yeah. So, the first time you get blown at Disney.
Disneyland.
People scream as the Tower of Terror plummets to madness. You tell me to come to the last stall, knock, be quiet. Mickey ain't got time for quickies in his town. Amidst wailing children I enter, Aerosmith invades the park, soft guitar strings blending in crowds, and you waste nothing, yanking me close for a kiss before sliding my dick in your mouth. Muffled breaths are hushed by stomping footsteps as you take me whole. Lover, I ain't never allowed sweet emotion to jam while venturing into uncharted eroticism. But I'll walk on your bad side. Downpour is heavy. I am all too eager to follow you through waterfalls and uncertainty. Comfort is just another word for lifeless, and you are all too full of vigor. And as we finish this carnal roller coaster, you pull me together, leading me to another impulsive endangerment. So.
Yes.
The bathrooms are quite ruined. You know, it's Halloween, or it was Halloween a few days ago. Every time Halloween comes, everyone says they're so afraid of demons. Everyone is so afraid of demons. But I'd fuck Baphomet in a frightened minute. I mean, I may want dinner first, considering he's the almighty being of evil and death. According to the Christians, and let's be honest, they're a bunch of fucking cultists anyways. But if that little gold devil approached me, I'd open my bed. Fuck, why not? Possess me in ways I ain't never heard of. Set the booze down. I want to be sober when I see your throat. When I warm it up, take the ride. Evil is a mutual endeavor. I'll get lost in the curtain in your horns curving from your head. Fuck the baptism by fire. Who needs heat when you're already sanctified? If you're taking pictures and you're like posting them on social media, can you let me know and tag me? I'd love to see them. I sometimes, like I looked at the pictures from the Houston Poetry Fest and I saw myself and I was like, that's really atrocious, look at that picture. But let me know, I'd love to see any pictures that are taken. So, being with a sexually adventurous boyfriend means you have all these different experiences. I've never been blown in the graveyard before. But you pull me behind a tree as dust settles in. Lips entangled, I see them. Old timers. Spirits without shit to do. When your lips wrap hard around my shaft, I see nobody, but I know eyes watching the distance. Lover, don't you know ghosts love excitement? Cold air whips my ass as you finish, pulling me together as dark rides in. The dead can't see everything, but as we leave, I see them gather, hungrier than I am to finish the night. Let's see here. So this next poem actually came out of a conversation between me and my boyfriend. He likes to believe that Goofy has never had sex, when we all know he has, because he has a son called Max. This is called We All Know Goofy Fucks. But I wonder what that dopey bastard gets off to. I bet he opts for the handcuffs when he waltzes into romance some more, shucking his way through the vibrators and garter belts, latching onto a harness he'd been saving up for because Disney don't pay shit. When he takes someone to his bed, does he beg to be the good boy? Or does he desire his thighs to be pummeled, sniveling beneath a gag fitted for his mouth? So, he's never forgiven me for writing that one. He's probably not going to forgive me for reading it, but fuck it. So I'll finish. I got two more for y'all, and then I'll be gone. So,
say it like that.
No. Yeah. What is that?
I'll do three. If I can find it. I should know this book by heart, but I don't. So the next poem, I should have brought that. Okay. I have problems with ghosts. They're just everywhere. Ghosts hate me. They do mean things to me. This ghost in my house keeps throwing dildos at me. And it's really fucking irritating. Getting up to take a piss, only to get hit with a silicone penis. It likes to make sure I get hit with a knot, as if the thickest part of the shaft would make me aim better in the dim lighting of my bathroom. Spoiler alert, it fucking doesn't. The roaches find it funny, hiding in the corners as the specter arms himself with another sexual fantasy encased in an expensive toy, and they're really fucking expensive. The mouse watches from the shelf, enjoying the impact, satisfactory revenge for me murdering its family last winter, and the dog doesn't even seem to be concerned. He watches from the doorway, wondering when his food bowl will be refilled. I asked it what it wanted, and using the last of my lube, it wrote a message on the sheets. Said, man, I couldn't find a clean knife in your kitchen. I just settled for the next best thing, only wishing it were sharper. All right. So I've done this one a few times. So these poems in here I did at this place called the Americana. And I swear on a few of them, there was this lady there, and she did the sign of the cross as I was reading. We didn't know there'd be like a preacher crowd there. Winston was there. You were
Oh,
one.
yeah.
Yeah, it was an entire fucking preacher crowd. It was-
Yeah. Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah.
I guess I offended him too.
Did you give them some
You offend
sex?
everyone, wasn't it?
They definitely got sex. But this one I didn't read. I wanted to read in front of them, but I couldn't bring myself to read in front of a preacher crowd. I met Satan on Grindr. Who needs to sign your fucking book when all I want to do is fuck you over your flames? Stand tall over me, defiler of souls. My body is devoid of Christian doctrine. Souls are aimless. The heart is what drives the body to desire. What is it you really want? Lie down upon your sacrificial rock. Spread yourself open. Scratch your symbol on my back as I enter your cavern. I've danced this tango with evil enough times to know the game is short, but memorable. And when we're finished, keep my number. I may need to know what death feels like after a few more orgasms. Alright, so I'm going to finish with this one. I hope to have this book out by next year, depending on when the artist takes care of the art. But this is It's called, on the count of 3, let's have a rapture.
Yeah.
1. I don't think anyone knows what that means. Now, feeling of intense pleasure or joy. I googled it, so I know. But when the Reverend of New Horizons Church says the rapture is coming, he means going to God, heart pulp free and unscathed, abandon life and all that made you. But how can abandonment and joy be so synonymous? When I was a child, I was afraid of that word, afraid of what it meant to be abandoned, afraid of being left behind because some random guy in the sky filled with righteousness thought he could judge me. That's how it is, right? When the Reverend said trumpets would fill the air on the last day, I imagined the final countdown. Because who the fuck wouldn't want that song as their end of days theme? Could you imagine angels flying around killing people for the life they've lived as Europe's epic chorus wails in the air? Bloodshed and purity all wrapped up into one 5-minute song. 2. The first time I kissed you, I peeled bruises off my heart like an orange. It was dark and I couldn't see worth a damn, but I think I did all right given the circumstances. Not that my ego is showing. You got to stroke that later. I could see through your windows, see that only I carried cemeteries while you found ways to make ghosts dissipate at night. You say you don't know what I see in you, but lover, I see the rapture in you, hearing stutter steps and broken gas tanks about ready to blow. I'll shake my prayer beads to arrows, because you don't define indiscretions as a lifetime, only chapters that can be left alone. 3. What the Christians fail to understand is, if we destroyed ourselves over every sin we've been a part of, everything, every fucking thing, eating shrimp, wearing different clothes, being gay, opening up my Grindr app, everything. We wouldn't even have a body to offer up to Christ. Bones shattered beyond the cover, we'd be like fucking blobs in the light of judgment, like, yeah, I asked for forgiveness. I know the good book, word for word, but let's face it, ain't nobody read that book. They may have read the first line. Ezekiel 23:20. I could barely get through the first chapter. Let me play with pathos. I'd rather yearn for love than seek approval into some fucking yacht club. At least then I know what it means to live. And when I fall to the fires, I can say these flames were fucking worth it. Thank you.